Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Kim, a member of Aspire, one of the most fabulous service club in the world. Today, let me talk about equations for 8th grade students. Let's go! Andrew bought unknown amount of pencils from the store. However, during the walk back home, he tripped over a banana peel and lost half of his pencils. Luckily, he was able to buy 6 more pencils in a different store. As a result, when Andrew returned back home, he had a total of 12 pencils. How many pencils did Andrew buy initially? Now, in order to solve problems like this, we can simply backtrack the problem. Andrew ended up having 12 pencils after losing half of the pencils and then buying 6 more pencils. Now, if we backtrack one step, before Andrew bought 6 more pencils, Andrew should have had 6 pencils because 6 original pencils plus 6 new pencils would be 12 pencils in total. If we backtrack one more step, Andrew should have had 6 pencils after losing half of the pencils, which means before he lost the pencils, he should have had 12 pencils because losing half of 12 would be 6. Thus, we can figure out that Andrew bought 12 pencils initially. However, backtracking can get very complicated if more steps are added. Let's say Andrew lost 3 pencils, earned 3 times the pencils he has, lost a quarter of what he has, earned 15 more pencils, and lost 3 less than half of the pencils that he has. Now, we have 5 steps, and some of the steps are intertwined with each other, so it is tedious to unravel everything by backtracking. This is precisely the reason why we use something called equations. The definition of equation is a statement that the values of 2 mathematical expressions are equal. In other words, any mathematical expression with equal sign is an equation. For instance, 1 plus 4 equals to 5, or 3 times 7 equals to 21 are also examples of equations. Now in our situation, when we want to find an unknown value, we use equations with variables or unknowns. We express them using alphabets like x, y, or z. For example, if you don't know the price of the pizza, but you know that it is half the price of a fried chicken, which is 20 bucks, you can let x be the price of the pizza and use x inside the equation as x equals to 20 over 2. The left-hand side of the equation, x, refers to the price of the pizza, and the right-hand side, 20 over 2, refers to the half the price of a chicken. Since you know that the two values are equal, you can use an equal sign between the two expressions. Now, the only thing you have to do in order to find the value of x is to calculate the right-hand side, which would be 20 divided by 2 equals to 10. The benefit of using unknowns and equations shows up when you apply them in more complicated situations. Let's go back to our original question. Andrew bought an unknown number of pencils, he lost half of it, and gained 6 more, which ended up as 12 pencils in total. Now, since we want to calculate the number of pencils Andrew bought initially, we let x be the number of pencils Andrew bought initially. Now, we set up an equation. Andrew lost half of the pencils, that would be x divided by 2. Next, Andrew gained 6 pencils. That will be x divided by 2 plus 6. This will be equal to the total number of pencils, which we know is 12. Thus, we can set up an equation, x over 2 plus 6 equals to 12. However, this equation is a bit different than the one before. In the equation before, we had only x in the left-hand side, so we simply had to calculate the right-hand side to find the value of x. However, in this equation, the left-hand side has something more than just x. Thus, we would have to simplify the equation so that only x stays on the left side. These are some basic rules that you would need to know in order to simplify equations. In fact, they're very intuitive. If you add the same numbers to both sides, they will still be equal. If you subtract the same numbers to both sides, they will still be equal. Same goes for multiplication and division, except when you divide both sides with 0, because it is simply impossible to divide anything with 0. Finally, using these rules, we can simplify this equation by first subtracting 6 from both sides. That would only leave x over 2 on the left side. Next, you multiply both sides with 2. That would only leave x on the left side, and the right side would be 12 minus 6 times 2. Now that we have x on our left-hand side, we just have to calculate the right-hand side in order to find the value of x, and that would be 12. To conclude, when you want to find the value of an unknown value, you first let an alphabet like x, y, and z equal the value of an unknown. Then, using the information given, you construct an equation including the unknown. Finally, using the 4 rules, you simplify the equation and find the value of the unknown. I hope this video helped you understand equations better, and don't forget to have a great day.